and again, they have promised things to voters that they have then failed to deliver. And what Labour have done, which I enormously admire, is level with voters and say, actually, it's not going to be completely different after 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, but vote for us is going to be hard. That's not the greatest slogan ever, is it? John Stevenson says that he believes that most people are feeling better off. Other people, perhaps cynically, would say that what this autumn statement has done quite effectively is to kick quite a number of fiscal cans down the road. And if Labour are the winners of the next general election, you're going to have some really, really tough decisions to make, aren't you?
There's no denying that the fiscal position we would inherit if we were to win the next election after 13 years of a Conservative government would be extremely difficult. I mean, one of the things that kicking the fiscal can down the road means is that these tax cuts are sort of mythical money. It doesn't really exist. In fact, it's been taken from future spending cuts to departments that are already, there is no fat on the bone in any of those departments that they're proposing to take cuts from. And if this is supposed to be the budget for growth, taking that money out of public service spending and then using it to deliver short-term tax cuts is not going to deliver growth. The choice is about whether or not you want a government that invests in Britain and that leverages private investment to invest in Britain.
Does that mean, though, that you're just going to borrow a lot more money? That was certainly something that Jeremy Hunt hinted, well, more than hinted. He said that's exactly what Rachel Reeves is going to do.
And Rachel stood up and made the argument that actually being frightened of investing in Britain, which is not just about public investment, it's about private investment. 85% of the gap in investment between Britain and comparable peer countries like Germany and the United States is not about public investment, it's about private investment. And we run away frightened of investment, even having a debate about investment and the merits
You're
of
very
it.
careful to say investment. Other people would say borrowing.
Borrowing is one way to pay for investment. And the important thing is that you only have to get to this question of, is it borrowing? Is it tax rises, etc. If you're talking about public investment, and a huge amount of what Labour are talking about is private investment. Governing in this age is not just about how you spend taxpayers' money. It's about how you direct the private sector, how you incentivize them, crowd them in, get them involved in a mission to deliver growth. And that is something that this government have uniquely and singularly failed to do. And that is a real choice at the next election.
There is no doubt. Let's say that Labour do win. It's going to be incredibly tough, isn't it? Financially, it really is going to be hard. And so many people will have expectations of you. There will be voters who've never voted before and will assume that the Labour government will offer them not quite paradise, but certainly a real change in their fortunes. And the difficult, uncomfortable truth is it's going to be really, really, really tough.
I think that's right. And, the two people I've heard saying that most often are Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves. They start every single policy announcement speech that they make by recognising the unbelievably difficult situation our country and the people who live in it, so many millions of people who live in it, face, and not promising that within a year everything will feel different. That would just be delusional. And actually part of the problem with, the last 4 or 5 years of Conservative governments is it's just delusional economics. The Conservatives call themselves the party of sound finances, but again and again, they have promised things to voters that they have then failed to deliver. And what Labour have done, which I enormously admire, is level with voters and say, actually, it's not going to be completely different after 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, but vote for us is going to be hard. That's not the greatest slogan ever, is it?
Well, we'll see if vote for us, it's going to be hard. And here's some of the ways that in the medium to long term, we are going to transform this country. We will see if that pitch wins the next election or not. But voters understand that getting a mortgage, borrowing to buy a house, and then hoping that the value of that house will rise and that will be a serious investment in your future is a sensible thing to do that most people in this country want to do. I think voters understand that. And that is exactly what the Conservative Party has failed to do and Labour are promising to do.
Thank you very much. That's the view of Josh Simons of Labour Together.